I am so thankful for StreamYard.
I love StreamYard.
I'm thankful for StreamYard.
I love StreamYard.
I am super thankful for StreamYard.
If you're tired of mainstream media outlets selecting news stories and events that don't appeal to Black America, then become a member of the Unbossed Network today, where we are the voice of Black America and providing coverage of events and news stories that you won't hear anywhere else. Visit theunbossednetwork.com to become a member today.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the show today. Today we are going to be having a conversation with Anna Ballers, who's the incoming Vice President of Ohio State's Undergraduate Student Government. Hopefully I got the title right. And Julia Allen, who is also a member of the Undergraduate Student Body Government. And today we are going to be talking about the resolution that was just passed last week by the student government urging Ohio State University, their administration, not to renew the lease for the Wendys on campus until it joins the Fair Food Program. Today we are going to walk through what the Fair Food Program is, the significance of it, and why Wendys is apparently the only holdout, and 14 other Fortune 100 and Fortune 50 companies have completely already have signed off. So
the resolution, Julia and I talked in October actually at an event called Encuentro through the Student Farmworkers Alliance, and we were trying to figure out what we could do to create action within Ohio because Ohio is such a special spot within like the fight for farm workers' rights, because Wendys is located, Wendys headquarters is located in Columbus, and Ohio State has had a history of students organizing really strong and really powerful protests and really strong actions at the university in effort to advocate for farm workers and kind of address the history that the university has had in trying to figure out the right word for it, but figuring out how we can address like the missteps that the university has had in the past in advocating for farm workers' rights, because in the past the university has agreed to adding like a review board to kind of make sure that human rights are at the forefront, but that review board wasn't really like tangible to students or accessible in a way that made sense. And they used to have a clause within the agreement, they no longer do, that students would have to be included in the conversation to make sure that it is that the contract makes sense and is ensuring that farm workers' rights are protected, but that's something that hasn't been respected. So that's
students organizing in support of farm workers' rights at the university. And what specifically they have been doing is working in solidarity with CIW, which stands for the Coalition of Immokalee Workers, which is this really incredible group of farm workers who are advocating for other farm workers, their own and other, I suppose, farm workers' rights and dignity in the fields. And so OSU students have been working with them through the Student Farm Worker Alliance, which is a national organization of students working in solidarity with these farm workers to try to get Wendys, which as you said is the last major holdout to sign on to the Fair Food Agreement. And the Fair Food Agreement is this really unique and incredible worker-driven program that basically ensures humane wages and treatment for the farm workers on participating farms, right? So it has virtually eliminated abuse in the same fields that were once called ground zero for modern day slavery. So it's this really incredible program, and at the heart of it, it's worker driven, right? And so students have been advocating for, CIW has been asking for Wendys to sign on to this agreement. Taco Bell has signed on, Walmart, Subway, all these other major corporations have signed on, and Wendys refuses. And so one way students have been doing that is by trying to cut the contract between their university and Wendys. And so that's something we've been doing at OSU. And like Anna said, there's a really rich history of that. And due to students' continual advocacy in 2015, what she was talking about is the university put a clause in their contract that said they would not renew the lease with Wendys unless the concerns of the Student Farm Worker Alliance were satisfied. but the concerns of the Student Farm Worker Alliance were not satisfied, right? Because Wendy's still has not signed on to the Fair Food Agreement. But in 2016, the university went ahead and signed and renewed that lease with Wendy's anyways. And so there's sort of this long history. But like Anna said, we're really hopeful with this new president that both President Christina Johnson and OSU University Administration will finally listen to what students are asking for and cut the contract with Wendy's until Wendy's signs on to the Fair Food Agreement and stops being complacent in the abuse of farm workers.
So you just brought up something really crucial that we've been talking about these last few minutes about how Wendy's is the last holdout. Can you explain to us in your words about why do you think Wendy's is the last holdout to sign on board? Is it because Wendy's is headquarters here and maybe there's some money involved in a partnership or a backroom deal that we don't know about?
We're not in the room with Wendy's, so we really can't say why they haven't signed on. But for those who have signed on, the Fair Food Agreement actually helps everyone all around, right? The growers, the farm workers, and the corporations. And so there isn't really a reason that we can see that makes sense not to sign on in regards to both ending abuse in the fields, which should be a goal of both OSU and Wendy's, and, making consumers happy, right? And so we really, we can't totally say, but it is, it's shameful. And we are, as OSU students, we're very tired of waiting for our university to listen to our voices and follow through on their commitments to human rights, to innovation, to integrity, and cut the contract with Wendy's as long as Wendy's refuses to sign on to the Fair Food Agreement.
So everybody, hashtag boot the braids, or is what we are calling this campaign. This is crucial to get Wendy's to join on to this because the alternative, if they don't, is so much worse. And all of their competitive companies have done it, from McDonald's to Taco Bell. So Wendy's, Dave and everybody over there, what's taking you guys so long to sign on? All right, so talk to me a little bit about this, whether it's you, Anna, or Julia, about the school up north. As we all know, we don't like to refer to them, but I'm going to refer to them today. Be a little nice. Go Bucks anyways. But the University of Michigan, it's my understanding that they have been very successful in this program. Can you talk about that and their success and what it's like seeing that? Because with everything, Ohio State and team up north, it's always going to be a rivalry. What that's like to see Michigan having success in this, but Wendy's being the last holdout and allowing Ohio State not to have the embodiment of that full success as Michigan's having.
Student advocacy work at the university, something that we talk about a lot is comparing to the Big Ten schools and then University of Michigan. If you say that University of Michigan has something that we don't have, then we're going to have it very soon usually, because we don't like to be beat by them, as we know, and that's not something that we're good at, so we don't do that. So the way that I kind of put it is that the gold standard is how people say treat your neighbor as you would treat yourself, treat OSU students better than you would treat the University of Michigan. So right. Not, even though I have friends there, I love them. So that's kind of the gold standard. So it's a really great comparison for us that we are able to kind of activate and be hey, they have this, they're doing a really great job. Why aren't we doing that? So they were able to cut the contract at the University of Michigan, and they were also able to remove the Wendys from their campus. And that has been really successful. They took a similar route that we did with a resolution. So that is something that we were able to kind of model after and look up to their what they've done to kind of figure out how that might work at our university, especially as both of these states are Midwestern states. I know when I say that I'm from Ohio, people always associate me with corn, and so it's really important to acknowledge that we whether people live in a place where there is farm workers that are working near you or not, you interact with food because you're a human being. So it is crucial and important to every single person. But I think especially as Ohioans and Midwesterners and people that are around farming culture a lot, it's important to acknowledge like our like direct relationship like as well, and like the responsibility that we have.
The school up north about how the student body engaged with the local city government up in Ann Arbor. Is the current student body and current student body government officials engaging with Columbus City Hall in any way to help further this fight and this effort to get Wendy's off the campus?
Yeah, I think that's a great question because most victories we see, in the fight for fair food come from this really amazing, like, diverse network coming together, right? So, like you said, like people, community members and students, and, even between Anna and I, right? Anna is on USG. I'm actually not in USG. I'm just a student and also a member of SFA. And so, yeah, just like OSU, Columbus does have a really rich and incredible history of organizing around having a Columbus Fair Food group, which is just community members, right? Sort of like their chapter. And so, yeah, I have been working with really great allies in the city, and that support is always really key. It's always really appreciated, and I think it's just like one thing people really love about being part of the Alliance for Fair Food, which is just the larger network of people in solidarity with CIW, is just this, like, you get to meet a lot of different people and everyone's gathered for the same reason, right? This desire for justice, this desire for the food chains for the food chains we all engage in to be just and equitable for everyone, at the top of the food chain to the bottom of the food chain.
Joining us today. So basically, everybody, the 4 for 4, it has to go on Ohio State's campus. It just has to. They're the last and final holdout. And so as the resolution ends, it says, therefore, let it be resolved that the Undergraduate Student Government General Assembly urges the OSU administration not to renew the lease for the Wendys currently on campus and instead allow the lease to expire by its own terms as of July 1st of this year, in keeping with this promise made by the university to its students in 2015, unless Wendys agrees to protect the human rights of farm workers and its supply chain by joining the CIW's Fair Food program. So, everybody, thank you for watching. Importantly, if you don't own stock like I did, just try not to eat at Wendy's as much. In solitude of Ohio State, whether you agree with them on the sports realm or not, just take one for the team. All right, everybody. As always, Black Columbus, remember to keep it real because your conscience depends on it. Thank you. Peace. We're out.
Thank you for watching the Unbought and Unbossed show. If you haven't already subscribed to our channel, what's holding you back from smashing the subscribe button? Don't forget to hit the bell to get notified every time we post a new episode. Devontae will be back here every single weekday, breaking down the most important news stories to Black America. We'd love for you to share this episode with your friends and family. And remember, Black America, to keep it real because your conscience depends on it.
I am so thankful for StreamYard.
I love StreamYard.
I'm thankful for StreamYard.
I love StreamYard.
I am super thankful for